Hi friends, today, we have a very warm and heart-touching drama, which will definitely make you cry. The story begins with a beautiful girl named Yan, who is a very skilled voiceover. She applied for one of production companies, and in the audition, everyone was impressed by her performance. Despite that, one of the jury wanted this position for her friend, so she decided to show Yan a horror movie in order to see how she would be able to comment on it. As soon as Yan saw the scene, she went through a panic attack, then stopped interacting with everyone completely and started walking as if she was unconscious, so her friends came and took her out of the place immediately, but at the door Yan passed by Meng, whom she attracted his eyes. Yan went to her doctor to continue her journey in search of her treatment, but the doctor told her that he had tried all the medicines with her, so we discover that Yan has a disease like sleepwalking. As soon as she is exposed to something that frightens her, she enters into a state of temporary unconsciousness and does not wake up until after 10 hours. Then the doctor told her that there was one solution still before them, that there was a girl in the same condition, but when she got married, she recovered completely, so she should find true love. Perhaps this is her cure. After that, we go back to the same production company, where a famous singer named She was singing the song for the new movie the company launched. Yan went to the company again to see She as she is one of his fans, but she saw all the fans running towards her after she left. So Yan went through the state of fear again, and before she falls to the ground, a person comes and holds her, and we discover that he is Meng, the same person who saw her at the door before, and he is She's brother and the movie's producer in the company. Yan returned home in a state of astonishment, as she returned conscious within only 6 minutes, so she called the doctor who told her that the person who held her was the reason. But Yan could not remember anything from him except that he was wearing a white suit, and by searching the party photos, they noticed that the only one dressed in white was She. After that, Meng's friend tells him that there is an account for a girl publishes audio dubbing with her voice, and he thinks of giving this girl a role in their new movie because of her skill in acting. Meng agrees to the idea and goes search for the location of opening the account, and we discover that it is a music store, and Yan is the one who works in, and she also the owner of the account. Yan saw Meng standing in the rain, so she went to him with an umbrella, and when Meng saw her, he remembered her, but she didn't know who he was. Yan took him inside and offered him her favorite music CD, so Meng bought it and headed to She's house, whom we know that their relation was strained. After Meng's friend contacted the account owner, Yan went to the company and the interview was with Meng. Yan told him that she wants this job to get close to She, so Meng felt bad and told her that this place is not for fans and she is here for work only. Yan got angry and shouted at him not to dare to insult her, then she leaves. But because they need her, Meng's friend took him to apologize. Then they offered her the closest role to She, and Yan agreed to sign the contract, but only when she meets She, so Meng took her to his mother's birthday party because She was there, and his mother was happy with her because this is the first girl she had seen with her son. Then Meng took Yan to She, who was at the same time listening to Yan's recordings. Then he smiled at her telling her that her voice in reality is better than the records. Yan told She everything about her illness and asked him to spend as long time as possible with him to recover, but She laughed at her words, and didn't believe her. The next day, Meng and She's mother went to Yan and asked her to stay at her son's house because he has autism and doesn't like dealing with people. And her presence might help him. Yan thought she was talking about She, so she agreed, but she was surprised when she went home that it was Meng's house. Meng was surprised by her too, especially when he found out about the contract, so both of them wanted to dissolve the contract, but the contract stipulated that she should stay for 2 months, otherwise she would pay a huge fine. So Yan was forced to stay with Meng, who began to set the rules for staying with him. While She was thinking about Yan's words and called the doctor to make sure of what she said, and he discovered it was true, so he met her and played a melody for her, and told her that one of the composers played this melody in order to reconcile his beloved, so she could consider it to be her reconcile, and told her that she could contact him at any time to help her return to consciousness, and he gave her his jacket to warm her. When Yan returned home, she called her friend and she was screaming with happiness because she was able to get closer to She, but Meng came from behind and told her that she had to pay a fine because she screamed in the house and that it was against the rules. Then Yan wanted to go live, and learned that the bathroom is the place where she can speak uncensored, but Meng told her he wants to take bath. Yan got out but forgot her phone inside, and Meng has been recorded live in front of everyone, and when she discovered, she sneaked in to get it, but Meng saw her and yelled at her. The next day, his friend told him that many companies cancelled their contract with them because of what happened. And when Meng found out about that, he decided to make her leave the house in his own way. So he began to put squeaks and snakes on her clothes, but she wasn't afraid at all. So he decided to cut off the electricity, and as soon as it happened, Yan went through her panic attack, and didn't know what to do, so she called Meng quickly to fix the electricity, but he had put his phone on the table with a scary doll, so at this moment, Yan lost consciousness, and when Meng came out to her, he found her walking unconscious and about to fall down the stairs, so he held her quickly and discovered that her heartbeat was weak and she was shivering, so he put a jacket on her, and before doing CPR, Yan woke up and left him angrily. Yan was amazed at how quickly she woke up without so she knew that his jacket that Meng had put on her was the reason, as it carries his scent, but she unfortunately had washed it. As for Meng, he was thinking of Yan, and called his mother to find out how she was able to convince her to come to his house as an assistant. So his mother told him that she had told her he is autistic and needed help, so Meng knew that she was not here only for his brother as he thought, so he felt grateful to her and apologized, and told her that he will carry out any request she wants as an apology. So Yan asked him for something that carries the scent of so Meng felt jealous and angry because she was still obsessed with his brother. After that, Meng entered the house to hear a sound coming from Yan's room, and before he entered, Yan went out and prevented him, so Meng thought that there is a guy with her in the room, so he opened the door quickly, but he was surprised by a duck coming out. Meng asked her why she brought a duck, so she told him that she trained her for her scenes with in the movie, so Meng got angry and kicked her and the duck out of the house, but he couldn't bear it, and he let her in again. The next day, she met Yan, who heard his new song and complimented it, so she felt happy and gave her his scarf and told her that this would help her if she had a panic attack again. Time passed and Yan went to the company to do her work, but the girl who wanted her to lose the job before was still hating on her, and she remembered what happened to her the previous time when she got scared, so she frightened her again. Indeed, Yan lost consciousness and her friend tried to wake her up using Shi's scarf, but it didn't work, so she called him and told him to come quickly. Meng was in the company, and he saw them, so he went to her quickly, very concerned, and he called the ambulance as he didn't understand what's wrong with her. At this moment, Shi arrived at the office and hugged her quickly, but this didn't work, so he kissed her head and Yan returned to her consciousness, and all this time Meng was watching what's happening, and was about to explode with anger and jealousy, and he didn't know when their relationship had got to this point. Shi then went to Meng and asked him why he was worried about Yan, so Meng tried to evade the matter, so Shi told him that he would confess his love to Yan soon. Then he took her to a party, while Meng was immersed in his sadness. After that, Yan went to one of the company's parties of signing a contract with another company. So the girl who hates Yan took the logo of the other company and threw it in the fountain next to Yan and accused her of doing it. The head of the company got angry, so Yan went into the water to look for the logo. But Meng was there and saw Yan being insulted, so he rushed to her and carried her out of the water and put his coat on her. So he threatened him that he would cancel his contract with them, so Meng told him that he had come to cancel the contract, and he took Yan to the doctor to check on her health, but the doctor told him she is fine, and Meng asked him about a surgeon for the wound on her hand, but the doctor told him that it's a small one, but Meng was afraid for her a lot, so he took her and bandaged the wound until it looked like it's very big. Then he called his mother to teach him how he could prepare the food that she used to prepare for him when he was sick, so Yan was surprised that he left his work to cook for her, and after that Yan wanted to wash her hair, but she could not because of the bandages, so Meng went to her and washed it for her. As time went by, Yan fell in love with Meng, and when it was time to leave the house, Yan asked Meng to spend a whole day with her, and at the end of the day, Yan showed him the surprise that she had prepared for him on the occasion of his birthday, which he had forgotten. Meng was very happy, and wanted to confess his love, but he didn't, thinking that she loves his brother. But after mustering his courage, Meng decided to confess to her and told her that he wasn't believing in love until he met her and was able to discover feelings that he had not lived before, but sadness appeared on Yan's face in her thinking about her illness, which Meng does not know anything about yet. and that it is impossible for him to accept for his brother to hug her whenever she loses consciousness, so she told him that she can't accept his love, and left crying. Meng went through a state of sadness and anger, and no one understood what was wrong with him, while Yan took Shi to the doctor to look for another treatment for her condition other than him. But Shi doesn't care because he wants to stay next to her always, so he gave her a headphone on which he recorded his confession of love, but a call came to Yan telling her Meng had an accident and they are in the hospital now. Yan and Shi ran there, and he came out in front of her while he was fully bandaged. Yan ran to him and kept crying, telling him that she loves him, and she regretted rejecting him. But Meng was standing behind her listening to her confession, as the person who was on the bed was his assistant, and when Meng heard this, he quickly turned to her and kissed her. Yan returned to Meng's house and asked him about the reason for his disagreement with Shi, so Meng told her that when he was young, he had been kidnapped with a little girl and remained in the dark factory, but he managed to get her out and escape, but his father, who had gone to save him, disappeared and still until this day missing, and Shi accused Meng for their father's loss. Shi could not bear what happened, so he went to the doctor and asked him why he was the reason for Yan's treatment even though she loved someone else, so the doctor told him that they did not know, but this was what happened the first time between them. Shi was surprised because he didn't remember that he helped her at the party, and when he saw the surveillance cameras he knew that this person was Meng, not him, and she was returning to her consciousness with him only because Meng was there. As for Yan, she wanted to confess to Meng the truth about her illness. And when she was waiting for him in the restaurant, something frightening happened to her, so she lost consciousness and began to walk floundering among people. But Meng arrived and hugged her, and she arrived at the same moment and wanted to take her from Meng despite knowing that he was the cure for her, but Meng refused to leave her, and after a while Yan woke up, and here, Meng knew that something strange was happening to her, so she took him outside and told him everything about Yan's illness, but because he still loves her, he hid the fact that Meng is the cure, and asked him to bring her to him whenever she got sick. Meng was shocked and knew why Yan rejected him before. Then he went to her and told her that he could not bear to see Shi hugging her every time she got sick. But Yan told him that she would bear her illness, but Meng saw that he was harming her and pressuring her, and if it had not been for Shi's arrival yesterday, she would not have woken up, and he thought that he oppresses her by being with her, as she needs Shi, and Meng insists on their separation. Yan went through depression because of what happened and did not know how to overcome it, and when she was in the company one day, something happened that made her afraid and she lost consciousness, but Meng came quickly and carried her to Shi's office, and they both stayed next to her until she returned to her consciousness. After that, Yan moves to live with Shi in order to recover from her illness completely, but Meng did not bear this idea, so he was standing in his car in front of Shi's house all night, until he heard the sound of something breaking inside, so he felt afraid and quickly went inside, to find Yan had broken a glass, so Meng told her that he was passing by and he came to see Shi, and he put a bandage on her finger. Then he saw the breakfast that Shi made for Yan. He felt jealous and ate it all. Meanwhile, a package arrived at the house, and Meng felt that it's strange, and before Yan opened it, he put his hand on her eyes, and indeed, the package contained something scary, and he didn't know who sent it. But after a while Shi's assistant came to the house and she wanted to kill Yan because she was always in love with Shi, but Yan came and took her place, but Fang appeared quickly and stopped her, telling her that she only lives with Shi for her treatment, and Yan actually is his girlfriend and they love each other. Then he kissed her as a proof. Here, Shi's assistant believed them and let the lighter from her hand. Then the police arrived and took her. After that, Yan knew that Meng really loves her, and they returned to each other. Time passed, and Yan was with Shi in their way to the company. And they almost had an accident, which made Yan go through her state of panic. So Shi didn't find a way except carrying her quickly to Meng, who wondered and asked him why did he bring her if he was the one treating her. But Shi decided that he would not bear this anymore because Yan loves Meng and he has no chance no matter how time they spend together, so he told Meng everything. Meng was amazed, and he hugged her tightly until she woke up. And then Yan saw that he was the one with her and not Shi. So Meng told her everything and she was very happy with knowing that Meng is her cure, but as for Shi, he was crying heartily over his lost love. Then Meng took Yan to the garden where he was playing when he was little, but Yan began to remember memories of this place, until she remembered that there was a kidnapped little boy in a warehouse and she heard him screaming, so she entered to save him, but she locked with him, and here, Meng learned that this is the little girl who had been kidnapped with him, and because he was with her in this shocking incident, he was the only one healing her of what happened because of it. But they did not remember the kidnapper's face, but she told him that she heard his name, and it was Jean, their father's old friend. Therefore, Meng agreed with Shi to lure Jean to the place where he kidnapped him, and Shi began to tell Jean that he is searching for his brother's kidnapper whom he remembered that he killed their father, so Jean tensed and felt that they would approach him, especially when Shi told him that Meng was close to remembering the name of the killer. Meng was able to lure Jean in order to kill him and hide his old crime. Indeed, he went with his car and Jean behind him to the place of the kidnapping, and there, Jean appeared behind him and hit him on the head and told him that he would kill him as he did with his father, but at this moment Shi came out, and told him that he had recorded everything he said, and the police came, but Jean told them he had this in mind, and he sent Yan a message as Meng, and was able to throw her to her death. Meng called her in fear, but her friend told him that she forgot her phone and she went to meet Meng in their favorite place as he told her in his message. Meng knew that this place was where Yan held his birthday celebration for him before, and he hurried there. As for Yan, she had arrived at the place as stated in Meng's message, and she saw a box and thought it was a gift, but it contained something scary, so she lost her consciousness and walked towards the water, and Meng got there, but she fell into the water, and here, she remembered everything, that she saw Jean killing Meng's father, and that what made her fill in her illness, but Meng jumped behind her and saved her. After that, Meng and Shi's relation improved a lot, even that Yan was jealous of their closeness to each other, and then Meng proposed to marry Yan, and this is the end of this amazing drama. See you guys next time, and I hope you could find your true love too.